Last spring, when I was made aware that I got the honor, I was just like, wow, that's incredible, Girl Scouts. I was a Girl Scout. No, you don't even have to be a Girl Scout to get this honor, but it's really special if you are a Girl Scout. Not to mention if you were a proud member of Troop 500. For the sash, and not only did I find the sash, I got the autograph book, I've got all kinds of memorabilia, and I really have to thank my mom because she meticulously dated and had everything organized. I've got report cards, I've got it all. So, Brenda Guerin, who was last year's honoree, chose the theme, thank you Brenda, chose the theme of bold and sassy women. I immediately went for Girl Scout memorabilia. So I'm going to take you down the memorabilia road here. So the first thing I really should do is introduce my family. I'm very proud of Alan and Barbara Timm, my parents, my brother Doug, his wife Andrea, and daughter Tori, who was selecting the numbers, my brother Jeff, his fiancée Mary Cook, and my two wonderful daughters, Jill and Laura Greenstein. I couldn't be more proud of you. On the invitation, I love that. So, gosh, I was in my remarks, I was going to tell you, I grew up in Manchester, Maine, was a member of Troop 500. I guess we've heard that several times. So it seems like the right occasion to introduce Troop 500. So here from the original Troop 500, Mrs. Cobb, my Girl Scout troop leader, along with my mom, who's a Girl Scout. BJ Sylvester Pellet. I've got to thank you for being here tonight. And, I mentioned the autograph book. So I just thought, what better way to give you a little insight to my family, my friends, than to let's take a peek in the autograph book. Okay. Well, I think I had early attention to detail because the early pages in the autograph book are all numbered. Yes. And I can tell that I got the book for my 9th birthday, June 18th. And my mom wrote it down, 9th birthday. Every girl I had sign in, and they're all accounted for. But like on page 5, this is from my older brother Doug.
Shameless.
Roses are red, violets are blue, and I love you, your brother Doug. That's not the Doug I remember. So later, in the middle of the book, roses are red, violets are blue, and no one is stinky half as much as you. Not love your brother, Douglas Timm. So that's the Doug I remember. I'm sure I screamed and cried, "He ruined my book!" So Jeff, yes, you signed the book too. Now Jeff was younger, quite a bit younger, so his first signature was June 22nd, a few days after the birthday party, and all he wrote was JEFF. I was obviously doing quarterly development plans at an early age because I had him sign in again 4 months later on October 22nd, and he could write his entire name.
Yeah, she's good.
So,
yeah.
I mentioned that Troop 500, well, everybody in Troop 500 has signed the book. And what was really interesting is I noticed everybody had 5-digit numbers next to their names. And that's their phone numbers. You didn't have to dial 7 digits, you only dialed 5 digits. And not only were there 5 digits, some of us had party lines so that if you called that one ring was your house, 2 rings was someone else's house. Now, a Girl Scout today's got her own cell phone. She doesn't have an autograph book because she's got Facebook. So I think I got the autograph book because I was going to Camp Cedar Cove that summer, which was in fact a Girl Scout camp. That's why we got the little trefoil right on the autograph book. So very good selection. And I went to camp with BJ Sylvester, who wrote, BJ was nervous about going to camp. She was homesick. I loved it. But she wrote, boo-hoo-hoo, what will I do? I'm homesick at Camp Cedar Cove. My name is BJ, yours is Betsey. Boo-hoo, with luck. BJ. Thank you. All right, but you know, the other things that in that memorabilia is, look at this. This is a piece of birch bark. Yeah.
Wow.
You turn it over and you realize we've drawn a line, we've made a postcard, we've peeled it off the tree, and there's a little 5-cent stamp on it, and it was sent home. And it's, you know, Mr. and Mrs. H. Allen Timm, Pond Road, Manchester, Maine. I'm having a good time. I have really nice bedmates. Love Betsey. You know what? This is a pretty unusual postcard. But this is not the postcard that my family talks about. No, next year I went to Camp Kirkwall, and I arrive at Kirkwall. My name is Betsey. Unlikely there's another Betsey there. And my real name is Elizabeth. Her real name was Betsey. To avoid confusion in the 2 weeks that we were going to be there, they decided that I should be Elizabeth. It was my name after all, and she would be Betsey. I agreed. You know, a few days go by and I'm Liz, and you know, I'm into it or whatever. It's time to send home the annual postcard, so my name's now Liz. So I sent home the postcard that says Liz, and another thing that's not important in your career is spelling. Because I didn't know how to spell this, I'd never been called Liz, so I wrote E-L-I-Z. And that's how I spelled Liz, so that's the postcard that my parents always talk about. All right, I loved Girl Scout camp, so I have 2 daughters. You've heard how wonderful they are. I couldn't be more excited to share the joy of going to Girl Scout camp with my daughters. Yeah, they're rolling their eyes right now because they know Mom was pretty excited. So I sent them to Saucy, Pondicherry, Kirkwall. Jill even went all the way up to Millinocket. I think it's called Nartarsby. She's correct. I would have loved to have gone. I got to admit, when I left Jill off in Millinocket, she made your tears, BJ, look like nothing. But she loved it, didn't you, Jill? You know what the problem was? Is I grew up in Central Maine, and I'm bringing up my daughters in Portland, and I didn't want them to be Portland City kids. I thought, you know, this is the opportunity to hike to Taunton. I don't think they were quite as excited as I was. So on another page in my Girl Scout book is Mrs. Farr, my favorite teacher. She taught us for third and, Mrs. Farr. She taught us 3rd and 4th grade. So I'm having my own little show and tell at work one day, showing off my sash, my autograph book. Ruth Levitt looks at it and goes, well, who's that? That's your writing. I look at it and I'm like, no, that's Mrs. Farr. That's my 3rd and 4th grade teacher. And you realize that my penmanship is strikingly similar to my 3rd and 4th grade teacher. So you realize what an influence in our lives our teachers are. So thank you to Mrs. Farr. I went on, you heard I went to Kents Hill, I went on to Orono, and it took 2 tables this evening to get my Orono friends out. So thank you to my... You know,